On today's episode of the Property Investor Show, I'm going to give you 5 reasons why now is the time to sell your home. So obviously the market in Orlando is on fire. Everybody's trying to buy up every single property they can. Prices are skyrocketing, and there's pretty much more demand than ever when it comes from a home buyer's perspective as well as an investor's perspective. But what if you already own a property and you bought it at the right time? It's a tremendous time to sell. And so here are the top 5 reasons why now is the time to sell your investment or holiday home property. Number 1, as I just mentioned, inventory is very low and demand is very high. When you combine those two things, what does that mean? That obviously means that prices are going to be increasing and that the days on market on which it actually takes a property to sell is very, very low. So when you're trying to sell a property right now, if you price it right, you're going to sell it within the first weekend it's available with the right realtor and the right marketing behind it. Right now, there are buyers for almost every single type of property out there, so it's a tremendous time to take advantage of the amount of people looking to buy houses. Number 2, another thing that I already spoke about, prices are increasing in Central Florida like crazy. Over the last 12 months, prices have increased by about 10% throughout most of Central Florida. Now, obviously, a lot of the foreclosures and the lower end properties are the one that rose the greatest. However, pretty much no matter where your house is within the Central Florida vicinity, it has increased anywhere from 5 to 10%. Again, it all falls back to supply and demand and a handful of other reasons. When it comes to basic economics, population's increasing like crazy, unemployment is certainly at an all-time low for this type of environment, wages are increasing, there's an overall fantastic economic outlook. And so when you combine all of those factors, it's going to seriously increase the demand for properties and drive up prices naturally. Number 3, interest rates are increasing. So even though interest rates are still kind of low and compared to what they were maybe 20 years ago or so, they are increasing pretty significantly. And so right now, the average mortgage rate in America is about 4.53%. That is actually up from about 3.5% just 18 months ago. Now that might not sound like an enormous significant difference, but the average property price in Orlando is about $250,000. So when you look at a 1 to 1.25% mortgage rate increase, that's about $160 to $170 extra per month for the buyer or the owner of the home. Now again, that might not sound like an extraordinary difference, but when you really take into consideration what the average income is in the Central Florida area versus what the actual average property price is, the greater the mortgage rates are increasing, the less people are going to be able to buy your property. Number 4, and this is a huge one, the US dollar is getting stronger by the day. So right now, when you take into consideration the British pound right now is about 1.42, 1.43 to the dollar. Now, 1 year ago, or even 18 months ago, that was as low as 1.21. When the exchange rate was just 1.21 and you had the thought of maybe selling your house, if you owned a $250,000 property, that would have gotten you about 200,000 pounds if you sold when the pound was just 1.21, 1.22. However, in today, when the pound is 1.43, that's only going to get you about 174,000 pounds. So you're talking anywhere between 20 to 25,000 pounds out of your pocket just strictly due to what the pound is doing to the US dollar. So the greater the pound increases against the dollar, while it's great if you're buying property in Florida and in America, if you're thinking about selling, the more the pound goes up, that's more money out of your pocket. And thinking about it from a Canadian perspective, the Canadian dollar is at about 0.80 right now to the US. And so about 1 year ago, it was at 0.72. So again, that's a good 5% or so, 6% increase in value that's gonna go right out the window from a foreign exchange perspective. So even though the property prices are increasing, the more that the foreign exchange increases, that's going to really kind of hurt the bottom line when it comes to selling a property. And finally, number 5, the busy selling season is amongst us. Summer is the busiest season when it comes to real estate, especially here in Central Florida. Tourism increases dramatically. People are no longer worried about the holidays. Hopefully, most of them have paid off their Christmas credit card debt, and they've kind of sorted out everything that's in between there. Historically speaking, prices increase, and they really kind of peak between May, June, and July. And then if you look at what prices do over the course of 12 months, they kind of dip in the holiday months, November, December, and January for obvious reasons. So when it comes to the summer months here in Central Florida, you have more people looking at houses, more people wanting to buy houses, and more tourists from every single corner of the globe visiting this area during these next 3 to 4 months. So take advantage of that. These summer months are certainly the hot times to sell a property if you have that into consideration. Those are the top 5 reasons why you should sell your house in today's market. This is Grenier. I really thank you for watching this video. Please contact me anytime with any other questions, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.